You might have heard this metaphor about feeding the wolf. Like, which wolf are you feeding? Meaning about negative beliefs that we have. When these negative beliefs and self-judgments and criticisms come up, particularly about ourselves, the only way that they can exist is off of our energy. It's if we feed them. And I don't think that we're intentionally trying to feed them. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't even feel like we have a choice. It's just that they're coming up and they kind of overtake us, particularly if we're in the midst of the pain of that belief. It can feel all-consuming. And something that I found really powerful to know is that these particular beliefs, they actually only exist off of our energy. And we're unconsciously giving our energy to them, mainly because firstly, we just believe that they're true. You know, when these beliefs come in, we feel it emotionally, we feel it physically in our body, and we just take them for truth. And when we don't realize that those beliefs that come in only exist because of our focus on them and our belief in them, that if we actually can pull our energy back, which we are able to do, we can have a choice in doing that. When we're aware of it, if it's all consuming, then in that moment we can't really do much about it. But as soon as we have a moment of seeing, oh, this is a belief, we know that it's present because we feel bad. And if we can start to have this slight little shift to say, like I can actually remove my attention from this. So how do we do that? Well, firstly, we can just stop fighting it. So we don't need it to go away. We don't need to ignore it or resist it, but almost just kind of observing it. So being like, oh, here is this criticism that's coming in right now saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not valuable. And with body image stuff, it's usually like, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, too old, whatever it may be. When we feel that contraction and that tightening and that lowering of our energy, we can start to say, I'm just gonna watch this. This is like maybe this wolf coming in, just looking really hungry and wanting our attention. It's the only way that those beliefs or energy can stay alive. It's like it needs us, it needs our buy-in in order to exist. Otherwise, if we're no longer, feeding that wolf, so to say, it's just gonna walk away. Like it's gonna realize, oh, I can't get food from this person anymore. So eventually I'm gonna walk away. Now, if that wolf has been getting food from us all the time, and we, for the most part, have just been kind of feeding it without even realizing it, just like an animal that's used to getting a meal at a particular place, it's going to keep coming back, right? Like for a while, thinking maybe this time, it's in a habit of its own too. I used to get food here, so maybe I'll get it here. It's going to take a while for it to realize and give up finally and say, oh, I guess I'm really not getting any food here. It might start where it hangs out for a little while and then it turns away and goes away more quickly. So if you can kind of almost think of it like this, like, what if I stop feeding it? As soon as you're aware that you've been feeding it or that it's even here, you can say, okay, I'm just gonna notice that the only way that this belief can exist is if I keep buying into it. If I keep saying, yeah, it's real, it's true. So we can just pull back that energy a little bit, just start to watch it, start to observe it. Physically, it may just be like allowing those sensations instead of resisting it. Okay, I'm just gonna allow it to come through. Kind of just be like staring at it for a moment, like staring at the wolf and just being like, no food today. And then over time, it's gonna stop showing up as much. So that's really what happens with these beliefs. They don't actually have any power over us unless we keep giving it power. And like I said, we're not doing it on purpose or consciously often, because, you know, if we were, we would stop because we suffer when those beliefs are present. So this is just an invitation to keep just noticing and realizing, like, the only way it's going to keep coming back is if I keep buying into it. And so just draw your energy back. Just watch it, allow the feelings to pass, and then over time, it's going to stay less and it's going to show up less often. And then maybe one day it doesn't show up at all.